Good morning, President Hakainde Hichilema. Good morning, Cyril Ramaphosa. Good morning, Julius Malema. Good morning, Kasonde Mwenda of AFF Zambia. Also, good morning, Captain Ibrahim, the Moses of today, that has shown us the roadmap from economical slavery to ownership of our natural resources. The good part of his demonstration shows that a country can sustain itself without dependence on donor aid. I want to repeat again to say, you see, one thing that is there is, it is always difficult for people to understand. As I promised, I have to read the letters that I wrote to all former presidents and the current president, Hakainde Hichilema. But I realized that there's one thing that those who are so critical, those who are insulting, they may not understand. That what I'm reading, it will be too advanced without knowing the basics, the beginning of all this issue. So I want us to look at certain issues that may make you to understand the letters that I've written to the current president, Hakainde Hichilema. I want to refer to those who are insulting me today to say, since you are in UPND and you feel you are on top of the mountain, ask the family of the late president, Eddie Kalungu. I survived a deportation when my uncle was called, Dixon Mabuzan was called to, he was actually visited. They were inquiring about my nationality. They realized that I was born in Zambia and I'm a Zambian. Then they went to court with my uncle to arrange for him to sign my papers to be deported because of the same process I'm talking about. When they reached there, my uncle narrated to me that a soldier came, whilst they were in the High Court chambers, in the passage. They said, "What are you arguing?" They said, "Oh, there's Evangelist Masuka is preaching things that are not acceptable. His prophecies, he must be deported." Then the soldier asked to say, to where? They said to Zimbabwe. Says, no, where was he born? And he was born here. The mother born in Zambia. The grandparents born, my grandpa here in South Africa, Guyana, with the roots tracing from Mozambique. They stayed in Zimbabwe. Finally, they settled in Zambia. So, which nationality do I belong to? Eventually, they realized to say, from the soldier says, no, a person who is born in Zambia is a Zambian. This is the xenophobia that we are seeing here, which I'll talk later. But my point, which I wanted to emphasize, was I was persecuted in Zambia because of this prophecy. And those who were persecuting me, Lungu was the Home Affairs Minister when I fled to exile. Also, his family has fled where? To South Africa. What actually is happening is that what the courts and what the Zambian government is telling you, and the lawyer Makebi is not telling you, is that these people are refugees. They bought a house here. How can they buy a house here if they knew that you are just coming for medical checkup, and if a funeral had happened, they were supposed to return? They bought a house here, telling you to say they have come here to stay, seeking refuge from persecution. The same persecution that I fled when they were doing it, it was good, because me, I was wrong. Now them, they are also here as refugees. Again, Mwamba, Emmanuel, I've just read social media reports that he has survived to be adopted. These adoption reports, they've been denied by the government of Zambia. If I can remind him too well, when I also ran from being abducted, from being killed, I went to United Nations to seek protection. Mamba came and he was actually searching me, brushing out to say, no, there's no one who can adopt you, what. And my tent was bent as we were sleeping outside the UN. When my tent was bent, I fled. We went to Santon. There in Santon, at the police station that I've just forgotten, there was a call that the ambassador from the Zambian ambassador wants to talk to you. I said, talking to me when I'm fleeing danger. I fled from the same government. Why is it that I'm subjected to the same government to attend my persecution here in the country of Islam? Today, Ambassador Emmanuel Mwamba is complaining the same path that I passed through, which himself was behind it. This is a clarion call to UPND. Today you are going to insult me left, right, center, calling me fake man, calling me a scammer, calling me idiot, calling me all sorts of insults that will not just change what God has declared, but history will record that you also flee. And the people, when you are going to be claiming to say you are being persecuted, they also stand to insult you. You see, it is easy for someone to claim that I'm being insulted. It is easy for someone to claim that they want to kill me. And easy for people to oppose, because opposition comes from a person who feels comfortable in everything that is happening. Comes from a person who feels that is right because he has power. And I read someone from a paper, a headline, which I saw that HH will remain in power until Jesus Christ comes. People, they want to mock our Creator. Those who are speaking like that, they don't know that the time will come that they will run for their lives. Not from war, as other prophet is trying to suggest. From another leader, as long as HH refuses to do what God is saying, the president that is going to take over, which won't be from my mouth, but from the people's choice that are helping the government to reject the warning of God, they'll persecute you. The persecution that President Hakainde Hichilema refers to Lungu, it won't be compared to that. It will be more than that. You see, Hakainde has increased the level of persecution. Recently, I just heard his campaign slogan that those students, I don't know, one of the students that died at Yunza through political beatings or whatsoever, or shooting. Today, the same things that were being condemned under Lungu, they are repeated under UPND. The cyber law, which was criticized under Lungu, it is now a law that is very much needed. And everyone who is arguing on social media is referring to the police. I think Zambia has tended to become a police republic because of the cyber law, which the UPND supporters, they are so excited about it. The same cyber law, it will come and whip you 10 times than you are using it. Choose now to do God's word and save yourself from this continued hatred. I remember that it's a prophecy that I always want to refer. In this open letter to Manawasa, which I copied to former President Kenneth David Kaunda, former President FTJ Chiluba, PF President Michael Sata, UPND President Hakainde Hichilema, former Honorable VJ Mwanga, and political advisor Mavis M. Muyunda. I believe Kaunda has died. Chiluba, Sata, these two, they are still around, Mwanga and Mavis Muyunda. Ask them. I gave them these copies. So I wrote that the death of Lev Patrick Manawasa, it shall actually crash Chiluba's throne, meaning that it will even Chiluba was to follow, and he followed indeed. Also, Dr. Kenneth Kaunda, he has also followed. We have no forefather anymore. Those that I did not include, they are the people that came after the writing of this letter, like Lungu and so forth, and Rupia Banda, who I warned as well. But I said, then Zambia will remain without a king before God. In the king, you can replace it with a president. No one shall unite the nation. No one shall remain to guide the nation. No one shall have respect in the eyes of the people of the world, and the tribal wars shall never end, only donor slavery. So when you look at these statements which are there, they're about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They have summarized the situation that we have today. When you look at, there is no one to guide the nation. The issue at hand of Edgar Lungu is a prime example. There is no one to guide the nation. A fight over the dead body, which has resulted in 2 graves, is something that shows indeed that there is no one remained that has respect before the eyes of the people. When Hakainde Hichilema is speaking, the cancellation of the national mourning, which was later reversed to say, no, the president did not cancel, but when he was canceling, I had to receive a live broadcasting on Facebook when he announced that the nation cannot stand still, it must continue. And I believe by-elections were conducted even when the burial has not taken place. I don't know how the PF participated whilst they were mourning. So it all shows a lot of confusion. Also the state suing the Minister of Foreign Affairs here, Foreign Relations here in South Africa. And also that matter has been withdrawn. The issue for the death burial place is before the court. Also, the Zambian government claiming to see if it is true. The one who is in the mortuary is Ed Kalungu. Also, a lot of stories, confusion. That is where I said, shall have respect. No one shall have respect in the eyes of the people of the world. It's world news. It's world news that no one shall have respect in the eyes of the people of the world. And the tribal wars shall never end. This is what is happening in South Africa. Tribal wars. No, these people, they are foreigners, but we are all Africans. But donor slavery inside. I want to discuss about it as I wrote this in this book, which is open letter to Dr. Manawasa. Quickly. The issue that I want to refer to is, I'll introduce this one, step 5 of economical slavery, the one that I've just read. It is based on this first volume, the airport trap, the rescue operation airport trap, which it was carried around 21 hours, where I went to trap Chiluba. It's me here on this cover. I trapped Chiluba and told him to say, I've come to review to you your enemies and your relationship with God. Then I wrote this commentary here on step 5. Step 5, the cap trap, that is Isreal, the cap trap Zambia. So I said, today the cap in our midst is donor aid tied to forced democracy, forced Christian nation declaration given to Zambia for development in form of what? Grants, which the donor shall make a follow-up of the cap, the money involved in the digging of free boreholes, free ox cart, etc., etc., which they placed in our hands as grants. Then we shall know indeed that Vatican and America is our new colonial masters. I wrote this, it was in 2001, talking to say, these are our new colonial masters, and everyone knows today to say, these are our colonial masters. This trap of worshipping the Antichrist is deadly, as it is tied to aid and the donor countries that are the agents of this Antichrist. As my Bible and your Bible tells us in the book of Revelation, that the lamb-like beast America shall speak like a dragon, that is Satan, in union with the first beast, that is Papa Ru. Revelation 13, verse 1 to 8. These prophets found fulfillment. I want to say that when I was writing this book, I actually listed 8 steps of the highway to economical slavery that Africa has been passing through. Chapter 11 of those that have this book and those who want to buy this book will get all what I'm speaking about in chapter 11. I said any country without a strong economy is without defense on itself. What I actually said was, in everything that we are actually fighting, when you find that xenophobia is the headline in South Africa, it is the cap that has been placed in their midst because of lack of economical stronghold. Donor aid has been withdrawn, and now hunger has encroached in the homes of many South Africans. Those who used to eat anyhow in town, they are no longer able to eat. Those who used to eat in buses, they are no longer eating. Those who used to sleep from morning to evening, they are no longer sleeping. They are trying to also to open shops here and there, which they are not doing so. They are also trying to sell on the street because the economy is actually dwindling. So that's a sign that we've approached the last stage, economical slavery. When Rand has lost its power, when Kwacha has lost its power, Zimbabwean dollar has lost its power, Naira in Nigeria has also lost its power. It is actually one thing that I said in 2001 in this book, and the people are saying that I'm mad. That cannot happen. So I said, let's draw an example from the children of Israel. The children of Israel, in my first illustration, I said, in every generation, God allows captivity to come to his people in order for them to choose, in order for him to choose a remnant who are faithful and commandment-keeping few. The failing of men in Egypt started with the 7 years of death because famine was so in the lands, according to Genesis chapter 41, verse 53 to 57. So the starting point was famine or drought. Every time when God allows a situation, there's a reason of every economical crisis. I remember HH was complaining that when he became president, there was drought. It's not only him that has suffered from drought. 1990, 1991, there was yellow maize being brought because of drought. So these issues have been there even during the children of Israel, even us, as excuses for dependence on donor aid. The first point I alluded to, I said, our failing in Christianity shall come as a result of globalization. For this shall introduce global economic control system, and what I understood like that time, that Sunday national law, as I said, that this is the only point that needs to be changed in this book. National Sunday law will never come, but today we have this change of law, which is Saturday and Sunday, which are not first day of the week, and which are not seventh day of the week. We have already, it has been introduced, and it will never come. And the state unionized government with the church. So now, the union of church and state is leading to all these sanctions, economical sanctions and death. I read any resistance to this will result in economical sanction and death. Due to famine and the fear of death, men shall sell their birthright, eternal life, for a plate of porridge like Jacob did. See Revelation 13, verse 15 to 17. For details depicting economical control system under the rule of the mark of the beast described as Antichrist is prophetical translation. So, when Catholic comes under the leadership of UPND, and the UPND president says he's going to receive guidelines from the church, this union of UPND and Catholic Church has brought sanctions. Donald Trump has cut the sanctions. Why cutting the cutting aid? Donald Trump has cut aid. Like I said, a new king shall arise that shall do what? That shall not recognize Joseph, who is Donald Trump. And the cutting of aid to Zambia, the cutting of aid to South Africa and many other African countries, even Mozambique included, it is to enforce compliance. Compliance of them to continue ruling us, to control us economically, to get our natural resources and improve their economy, whilst Africa continues to beg aid from them. So I said the starting point with Israel, stage number 1, it started with visions and dreams. When Joseph saw dreams, he was actually rejected. There was an attempt to kill him. I also passed through the same. They wanted to kill me through poisoning. They wanted to kill me through car accident. Many times I've survived poisoning. But I want to say that today, Joseph is one thing that I want to say is our example in my ministry. At the same time, Zambia also rejected my visions under Dr. Kaunda, under Chiluba, under Mwanawasa, under Rupia Banda, under Sata, under Lungu, and today we are under Hakainde Hichilema, still rejecting. They threw Joseph in the well, in the drainage, or in the pit. When they had planned to kill him, they sold him as a slave. But God was with him because his visions and dreams were to be fulfilled. I was supposed to have been died. I've been thrown in police cells in Zambia. I've been thrown here in prison because of the same visions and dreams. But God has taken me out as he took Joseph out for me to foresee the fulfillment of what I'm actually talking about. Why is it I'm talking like this? I want to save Zambia. I want to save Hakainde Hichilema. I want to save South Africa. I want to save African countries to understand that the fights that we're having, all these political allegations that we are going through of every former president is a corrupt president. Every former minister is a corrupt minister. It is something that was planted in our midst as I was reading on page 5. Let me continue to say on step number 2, I said Judah made 2 pledges. Chuluba also made 2 pledges. Which pledges are these? Judah made the pledges with Joseph. When Joseph asked him, let me read something. When Judah saw her, she thought that, when Judah saw her, she thought that she was a harlot, because she covered her face. I pray thee, let me come in unto thee, for I knew not that she was his, for he knew not that she was his daughter-in-law, who he denied marriage with the son after the death of her husband. So now, this Judah had a son who died, and the daughter-in-law was supposed to be married by the younger brother. He denied. He says, no, I don't want. But this daughter-in-law covered herself. When she saw Judah coming, she had to sit by the roadside, covered on the face, because Judah was a prostitute, looking for a prostitute. He took this woman, went and had a short time with her, and this woman demanded money which he didn't have. He left his walking stick, and he left his ring as a king. What happens? The time when he went to get an animal to come and pay for that short time, you know, prostitution is very expensive, more especially if it is done by these in authority. Very expensive indeed. So what happened is that when he returned to do what, to pay for that, I don't know how many minutes, with an animal, which is costing today maybe 20,000 or 30,000, just for meeting a prostitute and having just that few minutes you pay with an animal. Very deadly indeed. So now I want to explain, to say, the time when it was reported to him, to say, oh, your in-law, your daughter-in-law, she's pregnant. Then says, who made her to be pregnant? Bring her here. She must be killed. Then they asked her to say, who made you to be pregnant? This girl brought the walking stick, covered it, and the ring. It says the owner of this walking stick and the owner of this ring, which was for the king. And the king looked down. So today, we are having politics that are there. Democracy is a colonial master that covered himself to be helping a prostitute Zambia, a prostitute Africa, which is looking for a pleasure without maintaining its own land, but privatizing them for the sake of money. So this democracy is now showing its real face. Democracy is a forced democracy. We thought we were looking for independence. We chased the white people. We said we don't need them. They came covered with the what? With the democracy. And now we realize that we are still married to them. They are still controlling us economically. As Judah realized that the daughter-in-law, she refused her marriage, got married to him, and he has a child with him. This is where now the xenophobia acts. Today, I was surprised to hear, even if you are married to a South African, we cannot allow, we are not part of your marriage. that foreigner must go back and or seek private hospital assistance. Why? It's the white man who is confusing us. We think a black person is a foreigner, whilst a white man is covered under those xenophobia act. And the DA stands also supports the deportation of Africans because DA is preparing itself to take over from Ramaphosa. This thing can only come to an end if Africa is united. We are not against whites, but whites are the ones that are invading us using a fake democracy, are dividing us using the fake multi-party democracy and using aid. We passed already that stage. When Hichilema read this book, he actually says in Sunday Mail, this is the government paper in Zambia, August 27, 2000. Hichilema, the title was Hichilema Seeks Slow Democratization. He said, give us time. Also, it was reported in the Post on Monday, December 3, 2001. So, let me read the Sunday Mail, August 27, 2000. State must work as one. He said the faithful would receive guidelines from Catholic Church and solution to problems. And representing the Pope, Ambassador Orlando Antonio said Zambia needs Christians to overcome the social, economical, and political problem, pointing out that it should protect itself from sin. Zambia does not need that. Zambia does not need Christians. Who is this Christians who was referred to? It was the Pope. This relationship between the partnership between UPND and the what? And Vatican. Pope Francis. Where Hakainde Hichilema says that we look up to the church for guidelines to how to run the nation. These are the same guidelines that are persecuting us, the same guidelines that are dividing us. Democracy is a game of hatred, a game of insult. If I can publish the insults that I'm receiving from the UPND, and more especially the Seventh-day members who have a hatred of my reformation, how can a person simply go to anything that I was trying to remind Henry Kalava, who actually sent me a message when he was Minister of Foreign Affairs under Lungu. He sent me a message of offering me employment in ZIRA. I refused. I said I cannot come back that side. After my escape from a lethal injection in a mental hospital, I asked him to say, God has assigned me to choose a president who can redeem Zambia from economical slavery. I had his WhatsApp number. I discussed with him on WhatsApp number. He was attending a certain conference. He told me that you come back to me. I tried to contact him again. He didn't come back to me. So now I just commented on his post where he was condemning the killings of those who are minors in Mfumbwe. I said, remember, I told you to say I was appointed, supposed to meet you and discuss to you. You lost that opportunity. He lost it. These presidents that people want, it's not a matter of being president. You must have an agenda with God. When I just commented that, Edgar Kanini, I don't know who is that Kanini, who is a son supporter of HH, who just want to comment a scammer at every point that I post or I make a comment to someone. You come and say, you scammer, fake man of God. This what what I wrote here, it's happening now. I don't know how fake it was the time when I was writing, because they wanted to kill me for these writings. And this is exactly where Zambia, South Africa, and all African countries are passing through. So now, I'm simply saying, I wrote here, Mr. Chiluba acted out of desperation for leadership as the World Bank offered to help him. If he could make a pledge, that the pledge consisted of the sale of companies to improve the economy. Chiluba seeks slow democratization, he said. What Europe has done 50 years, they cannot expect us to do within a short time, said the president said, give us time, and he boasted that the country had the fastest privatization program. The Post newspaper, number 1876, Monday, December 3, 2001. So now, when Hichilema was refusing to do what? To privatize, it was after I published the first manuscript. I took, not as a book, I took it just binded like just an ordinary paper. As a manuscript, I took it to him. And immediately after I gave the book, I saw the change of statement. And this is one of the change of statement which upon editing it, I had to add here within the same 2001. So Chiluba listened, and I came to realize when Chiluba was actually calling for Christian Nation Declaration, he was just used without knowing where this Christian National Declaration is leading to. People today, they think I hate a nation to be Christian. When we read, all Bible students read Revelation chapter 13 verse 1, you are going to understand that Revelation chapter 13 verse 1, Revelation chapter 13 verse 11, it talks of the beast. Beast is political power. When you read from Revelation chapter 17, you understand the meaning of that prophecy. The horns from Revelation chapter 17, it will tell you to say it's leadership, kingdom. So when the beast has two horns like a lamb, meaning that politics with the authority or the kingdom of Christ, the two horns like a lamb represent Christ. Then it shall speak like a dragon. Who is a dragon? Is Satan. Once a country declares itself Christian nation, it is speaking like a dragon. That's where now you see the happening in Zambia. Once you realize that Zambia is the first country to receive Sherish, who is a Big Brother Africa winner. Big Brother Africa is Sodom and Gomorrah. All evils were done in that house in the name of Big Brother Africa competition. I can't mention them. You know, you have been watching. And some other countries, they started editing. They could not hide the sinisters that were happening in that Big Brother house. Zambia is the first country to have Chiluba as the chairman of African Union, Toothless African Union, which was actually given to us by our colonial master, trying to tell us that they are making a headway for Africa to unite. They were lying, and I wrote it that they are lying. Zambia is the first country, being a Christian nation, to do a lot of wrong things. How can be a Christian nation today permit Freemason to have their conference when we all know, even a child knows, when you hear Freemason, it's a secret society which is aimed to do evil in the name of white collar Freemason? How can a Christian nation allow such wrongs? A Christian nation debating in parliament a bill to allow prostitutes to be called sex workers. A Christian nation debating the freedom of homosexuality. It is a sign of speaking like a dragon. I don't hate the declaration. I would love that each Christian declare himself to say, I'm a Christian nation myself. Because Christianity is individual. It's not by declaration. It will never make anyone to be holy. Others, they say, even the 18th October, Christian Nation, National Prayer Day, National Prayer Day will never make Zambia to be anything. We must be praying every day. Those declarations, they are brought as a covering. They cover you so that you sleep. As you pray, as you say it's a Christian nation, they loot your natural resources. Right now, people are being killed when they are gathering gold to solve their economical situation. That gold must be preserved for a white man from Europe, for Elizabeth to come and take it, Queen Elizabeth. For a white man in America, who is Donald Trump, to come and take it, and you'll be busy praying. Let us not mislead people to think religion is a bad thing. But let us bring people to the understanding that there is God in heaven who wants also Africa to be independent, to have economical strength, so that religion can also have a better platform where we can preach the truth. Because today we don't have freedom of speech. As Mwamba is crying to be abducted. Also, I have a lot of reports that I've filed before the police concerning the same matter because of preaching this gospel. I welcome Mwamba because he was used against me. He pushed me. He saw me as an enemy when I was trying to rescue Chiluba. He's the one behind my arrest in Zambia. He's the one who pushed me when I wanted to attend a press briefing by Chiluba. He's the one who followed me here. He changed from MMD to PF, following me, fighting me. And I told him to say, Mwamba, ask God what you need. If Mwamba protected the ministry before God, that time when I wanted to save his master, Mwamba was going to be the president of Zambia. Alas, because he thought he was so clever, he's also in exile. And his nationality has been questioned. The same way they are questioning Lungu. So, I'm simply referring this not because I'm bitter or I've not forgiven them. I've forgiven them. If they want prayers, they can still come and seek prayers. I'll pray for them. Because what they are hating is not me. They are hating the message that God gave me to save them. I'm simply reminding them so that they can remind UPND to say we also never believed in Evangelist Alex Masuka. We thought he was a scammer. We thought he was a saint. He was against us. But he was warning us to say, let us unite. Let us forgive each other. As Israel in step 3 went to slavery because they received corn, They went to buy maize. You know, after the 7 years of plenty, then Joseph kept food in abundance for the next 7 years. During the 7 years of hunger, the children of Israel went to go and what? To buy food from there. When Joseph identified them, they sold him, isn't it? When Europe identifies you as going to ask for aid, then Europe says you are welcome. You go and you want to ask for a loan, they say, no, we are not going to give you loan only. We are going to give you also with a grant for free. That's what they did to the children of Israel. They returned the money which they bought, and they had to put also on the next journey, they had to put the money again and the cup of the king in the bag of Benjamin. And they followed and arrested them to say, no, how have you done that? You've come to buy maize, but then you also stole the cup for the king. No, we cannot steal. This is how the arrest of all the opposition leaders in the government comes in. On my stage 4 of this prophecy. What did I say? I said on commentary. On commentary, the story of the sale of Joseph was long gone and forgotten, but God was still in control of every situation to make Joseph's dream to speak and to come to pass. Behold, I've heard that there is corn in Egypt. Get down there and buy for us from hence, that we may live and not die. Without knowing that they were fulfilling the rejected dreams, as they called him a dreamer. Free food, free clothes, free oxen, ox cart, free money led the children of Israel to slavery. And Zambia is following in the same footsteps of receiving free food, free money in form of grants from donor countries. The free gifts are dangerous to the nation as to individual families, especially gifts that are attached to conditions. And food for work programs started during the first term of office for Chiluba. People worked in their own fields or schools for them to get food or yellow maize. As the brothers to Joseph refused to listen to his dreams of giving what obedience to Joseph, so shall it be with the people of Zambia who refused Dr. Kaunda's call to go back to the land in order to strengthen the economy. I said conditions and traps set for buying of corn in Egypt. Let me read Genesis chapter 42 verse 7 to chapter 43 2 to 11. It gives us this scenario. And the man of the country said unto them, hereby shall I know that you are true men. Leave one of your brethren here with me, and take food, and be gone, and bring your young brother unto me, and he shall traffic in the land. So here are the trading conditions. Trump is busy setting trading conditions to know whether Ramaphosa is responding to the agreements that they set. Also, Zambia went through the same process until all this, when it was happening, what did they say? And Joseph commanded to fill the sacks with corn and to restore every man's money into his sack. And it came to pass, as they emptied their sacks, that behold, every man's bundle of money was in his sack. So let me explain this to say, I attach this to HIPIC completion point. Conditions for debt to be written off by donor countries. Zambia is living under the mess of the World Bank and the IMF for survival. To prove to the beneficiaries, the conditions are set for Zambia to offer land and companies in order to get aid from donor countries and to qualify for HIPIC and for aid to be cancelled. or written off. The said conditions is privatization of companies such as Zesco, Zanaco, Zamtel, among many others, as the MMD government is enslaved by debt. This is what I said in the 1991 globalization prophecy. So I want to explain to say, regardless of whatever is happening today, regardless of whatever everyone can want to do, I want to believe to say, God spoke all this to me, and God reviewed this, and God made it clear that this aid that we are passing through is not just a matter of aid. It is a trap which is leading us to slavery. Look at what has been happening. At a time when they were getting the aid, they were actually given conditions, trading conditions, which we are experiencing today. Thereby, to be identified, you need to be identified. You need to be identified. This identification, it has been the means by which Israel went into slavery. And now, according to this scripture that I've read, Joseph was used to trap the brothers by him as a governor. He was commanding to put back the cap, to put back the money under the coins in the bag. According to the vision of Joseph in America, who is Barack Obama, who was used to bring more countries in subjection to America. He was used to plant American bases because Africa thought it was better with their own brother in America, to trust America, without knowing, in the similar manner that Israel didn't know that the time for Joseph is limited. There will be a king that will come who will never recognize them. Because the children of Israel were given a Goshen land where they settled. They were considered to be royal family of the governor Joseph. So Africa, during Obama, we are considered to be the royal families of America. But when a new king came, immediately, according to what is written in this book, we became slaves. Today, America is setting goalposts, is changing conditions here and there in order to control us. Today, America is actually buying the biggest mine in Congo in order to use the same gold to whip us as a whip. Whilst we have no companies, we can't do anything, we have no money to produce our own income, then it is setting goals and conditions for us to receive what? To receive aid. So now, these goals and conditions are a result of the money that is given back to our leaders as aid. When our leaders move from power, those monies which they have hidden in their pockets, they are actually arrested as thieves. The same arresting of Simon until Benjamin has to be brought. And when Benjamin was brought, when Joseph identified himself to the brother, says, no, I want to know, you wanted to kill me, but now is my brother Benjamin there? And yes, he's there. So can you remain so that you go and bring Benjamin? And when Benjamin was brought, again Joseph says, can you put the cup in Benjamin's bag? And the money, that which they have paid. They never paid anything. It was just a trick transaction. The same way which I explained on the prostitute that covered himself for Judah and pretended to be a prostitute, but she was a daughter-in-law. So all these transactions of politics between America, Britain, and Africa. They are just tricks trying to pollute our environment with a lot of fights, hatred, and discrimination. The borders that are put there, they are all tricks to destabilize us in order for us to fight. So I said, when I say that Hakainde Hichilema must restore peace between Lungu's family and himself, between those who were arrested, the same applies here in South Africa. The same applies in Africa. Every leader who were arrested under political allegations, you must know that the thieving that is being identified is a trap. They've been trapped. And the people believe news, believe all the dramas that are happening in court. I can tell you to say, when I was arrested myself for trespass at United Nations High Commission for Refugees, when I went to court, I refused to be represented. They said, no, you need a lawyer. There's a free lawyer. And I said, what? In the High Court, I'm representing myself. How can I fail to represent myself in the lower court? And the trespass is not even a case that I can fail to represent myself. And moreover, at the United Nations, no one is allowed to be arrested at the United Nations because I'm a refugee. Even when one is not a refugee, when you go to a United Nations, you can never be arrested because that is a protection. It's a police for the world. We take our problems to United Nations. It's the same like when you're arrested at the United Nations. It's the same like you've entered the police station. They tell you to say, Mr. Masuka, you have come to the Central Police. You are arrested, trespass. When I've come to report a case, then you arrest me that I've trespassed. It means there is something cooking. There's a game there being played. So also I'm saying all the politicians that are arrested for corruption when they are former leaders, it is a trap which was set and demonstrated in the scriptures. Joseph was used to trap his brothers. And by them defending Egypt, because it had economical privilege of food, they were aligning themselves until they were given the land in Goshen. They settled, they were happy. But later on, things changed. So tables keep on changing in politics. What I'm saying is, we are actually reaching at stage 4 and stage 5, the cup trap, where we are worshiping a Christian system which is meant as a trap. We are given the weekly circle, which is the false circle, which makes our prayers not to be heard. We are also given a fake Jesus, who is a white man. Jesus was not a white man. Jesus was a black person. Hebrews, they are not white. And moreover, I want to tell you to say, also, those who are saying that Jesus is a fake name, the true name is Yeshua, there's also a mixture of falsehood to confuse the truth. Right now, as I'm speaking, someone who is listening, who is in support of what is happening today, who is a colonial master mouthpiece, would always want to oppose, to find room to oppose. I'm not here to bring division. My critics are positive criticism. I want religion to be pure religion, separate from politics. And politics must be pure politics, which are going to manage our resources for the benefit of the people. Not the politics that are in place today. All democratic governments in Africa, they are puppets to US, they are puppets to Britain, they are puppets to France. Take it or leave it. Anyone who is saying democratic what is a puppet. That's the reason why when a president is elected in Africa, he has to go and meet the Pope. He has to go and meet Queen Elizabeth so that they protect their territories, so that they protect their God, so that they protect their businesses. Alas, that America has 600 companies in South Africa. And those 600 companies, they can never be closed as foreign companies. When Zimbabweans that are just workers in those companies are being threatened, when Nigerians, those who are working in those companies, are being called names as drug dealers. When I was inside there, I did not find a Nigerian selling drugs, but I found the South African selling drugs inside there. Even in our locations, are there Nigerians that are supplying drugs? Let us be realistic. We should not be led to fight each other as Africans. We should be led to be united. Let us unite, and when we unite as one Africa, the countries that are under sanctions, they'll be free to trade in their own country, and there'll be no need for them to travel to come to South Africa. And South Africa won't travel to go to another country. We have South African in Zambia. Jacob Zuma used to come there to come and celebrate an event, a ceremony that is called Utwala, whether in Twala or whatsoever, of the Ngoni in Zambia. South African, they're everywhere in this continent of Africa. But here, those South Africans who have not traveled, I understand the time when I came in 2006 here, I was actually told to say there are other South Africans who don't know, who are in Pretoria, who don't know Joburg. South Africans who are in Joburg, who have not traveled, only 100 kilometers, they have not traveled. Because of what? Because of what? They were actually brought up with a lot of sanctions. The white regime that was actually under their control, they could not allow them to move from one place to another. So what is it that I'm talking about? I'm talking about Africa is one country. This donor aid is the cap in our midst that is dividing Africa. Once a country is democratic and it depends from donor aids, the president who are chosen, they are being controlled. This is the reason why there's this war between presidents and the former president, between the political parties and the ruling parties. These are arguments in parliament, these loss of respect, all these insults that are happening are sponsored because of this donor aid. We are being divided because of this donor aid. When I'm talking of donor aid, Africa should throw out their constitutions and make new constitutions. These constitutions, they must be African-based. They must actually return back the power to the chiefs. And the president, they must be just governors with one president in Africa, so that we concentrate on mobilizing on our natural resources to empower our citizens. There is no need to fight Ethiopians. There's no need to fight Nigerians. There's no need to fight. As long as we are Africans, let's hold each other. There is no need to fight political opponents to clear your way. What is happening in Zambia, where every political opponent who is potentially is being attacked, is because of the military base, AFRICOM, that is championing the killing even of the miners, who are called illegal miners. Illegal miner in your own country, in your own land, your own God, you are called illegal. When the government is empowering foreigners who are whites, when I call foreigner, I cannot refer a foreigner to a black person. A foreigner is a white person. because his continent is Europe. Even when he comes here, we receive him as a businessman, not as a citizen. And when he comes here, he must buy gold and go back to his place. If you want to come here as an investor, he must work under the conditions set by the African Parliament, one parliament. That's why I'm here. I'm not here to fight anyone. I'm here to open your eyes to say what you are defending as the UPND, as the party in government, is useless. It's a puppet, because you cannot survive without donor aid from America. What you call opposition, as long as you want to promise people that you can change things, when it's using the same constitution, using the same donor countries, using a Catholic as the church that can give you guidelines, you are lying to the people. There's no change. It's economical slavery in sight. If you want to remove suffering in the hands of everyone, in the homes of everyone, you remove poverty. Let us nationalize all natural resources to the government. Let us be, Africa must be one, so that we give one price for God to everyone who is outside Africa. May God bless you. Amen.